conference. He talked about possibly making tweaks. You know, we had a really good discussion about the All NBA teams. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It's on YouTube, podcast stuff. Yeah. Anyway, so our biggest gripe with it was that the game now is positionless. And with this voting system, they're forced to vote based on position. And we talked about how players get like contract bonuses, and it can affect their money if they don't get on this list, especially when they deserve it. Particularly, we were talking about Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic. You know, there's no way Joel Embiid should have been second team, but he was. Yeah. There's no way. That is a disgrace.
Yeah. It's crazy. When you said deserve, I thought about Pat Bev. I was like, don't let Patrick Beverly hear you say about who deserves what. He'll have a fit, man. But I agree, man. I'm glad to hear from the commissioner and that they're at least taking into consideration, because, like you said, we've seen 6'5" guys like playing forward and center at times now, and it's becoming more of a norm. And for Joel Embiid to not be first team, but he was second in MVP voting across the league, is kind of absurd to me, because I'm thinking, if by my mind is that if you're in the MVP voting, you're considered the top players in the league of that season. So I hope that they make that change.
Yeah, and this is the exact quote again. This is like the day of Game 1 of the finals. He was doing the press conferences. So, yeah, he said, in terms of determinations for All NBA, I think a fair amount of consideration is going to whether the media should just be picking top players than be picking by position. He also said, I think we are a league that has moved increasingly toward positionless basketball, and the current system may result in some inequities based on the happenstance of what your position is. So that's something we're looking at. It's something that we will discuss with the Players Association, because it has an impact on incentives and players' contracts, and it has, deep meaning for their legacy as well. So we will look at those things. Another good point right there that you said, this does play the impact on legacy. When we compare players, particularly across generations and eras, we look at, okay, how many All-NBA team selections did you get? Because that tells you, okay, these were the top players. But the game being so different now, we don't have just like pure centers anymore. You don't even have pure point guards anymore like that. The game is so different. I mean, you have a small forward in LeBron James who's technically like a point guard. Like, the game is so different. You have a center in Joel Embiid that can just handle and shoot. And Jokic, for sure. Handle the ball, pass, shoot. Almost everything he can do.
Point center.
Yeah, literally you can have point centers now, right? And this was unheard of about 30 years ago.
Less than that, probably 20 years ago is when... Because, I mean, the stretch four became a thing, and then from there it just went crazy. And we look at the Celtics right now. We talked about this a little bit last night, too. They don't have a point guard. They don't have a true point guard. By definition, by play style, they don't have it. But it worked for them. I mean, Jaylen Brown brings the ball up. Tatum brings the ball up. Smart brings the ball up. So we're in a time period of basketball where the PF, the PG, the C, it doesn't really matter. You're a player. You're just a piece of the puzzle, and you do what it takes to win. So
yeah, I really hope they make this change before next season, because Joel Embiid really did get snubbed. There's no way you're a top 3 MVP candidate and not get All NBA first team.
I agree.
There's no way. No way.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully they implement that.
I mean, they do All-Star.
Huh?
Which what we said too. They do it all. So you can have a starting lineup with guards, really,
Basically.
if you want.
Yep. Like, it's a very good point. If they can do that, then they can also do it for this. Because again, this affects their bottom line. It can affect their legacy. I hope they get this done sooner than later. Out of that same press conference, there's also